Oh, now it says 3. Keep going. Oh, I think it started.
Mine says 4 now.
That's so weird. Mine still says 2. I don't get it. Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and we are back with a brand new project. This is going to be a fun one, guys. This is the start of something very, very different. Tonight, though, I am once again joined by my lovely wife, Mandy. There she is. And before we get into this, I do want to remind everybody that we have the secret word game is going on. And yeah, I'm sure we'll probably talk about that a little bit later on when we get more people in here. But I've actually figured out when this thing started. And that one might actually surprise you guys because, yeah, it's been going on for a little bit longer than I had actually imagined. All right. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit weird. The the pattern we're working on is something that I made a video about, but that video doesn't come out until the 11th because, as you may imagine, I do some recording in advance so that way I have all the content ready and I already had everything in place for next week. So the video that of this actual pattern won't come out for a little bit. But and I don't have it pulled up on my computer because essentially I just kind of know this pattern just a little all too well. It's in my head. I made it. So yeah. Um yeah, hang on. Let me go back to this one. Oh, let's take a look at this one. Check this out. We are up to 2,266 watch hours, which is pretty awesome, guys. Although, weird thing, the stats are saying that towards the end of this week, our watch hours were crazy, crazy low. So yeah, if you can, maybe like I don't know, watch some, I don't know, watch a whole playlist or something. That'd be awesome. Okay, so this pattern, Mandy picked out colors for me to be able to make a bag, and the thing that was a little bit weird was that there were 4 strands of this color and then 8 strands of um, just randoms, and that's true with every one of the kumis. And like the kumis are like completely different sets of color. So this really threw me for a loop at first because loops. Um, really kind of threw me for a loop because I wasn't sure how to come up with a pattern for it. But what I've done is I'm going to take 4 of the light colors and shift those off to the left side, and the 4 of the dark colors and shift those off to the right. And then I am going to take a pair of this color and go over top of the entire group on this side. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. Okay, and I'm going to just kind of lock it in place by putting this one into a knot first. So there we go. That kind of securing things up so we can figure this out. So now the trick is I need to kind of pair these up. And this, so yeah, those two match. So I'm going to put this over. And I'm going to find the next two. I'm pretty sure it's these. So there's that. Okay, so there's the first two colors. Okay, well, first we have the solid, then we have these two colors, then we have this one again, this blue color that's like the constant throughout everything, and then we have the last two colors. And it really doesn't matter much about the order they go in. And I talk about this a bit in that video. Um, it's there is something to be said though about trying to pick a rule and then stick with it throughout the entire bag, because it kind of there's like a congruity thing that kind of goes on that makes them a little bit more palatable, I guess. So that's awesome. I'm really glad that you enjoy that, my new craft. That's awesome. So my new craft is one of the biggest contributors to the blindsided creation um, series that I have going on. And so if you haven't seen the videos this week, you guys should go check them out. Some of them were pretty hilarious. I swear to God, the girl has something in for me, because some of these bracelets were absolute doozies. But at the same time, they were all fun to make. And I look forward to more of this series. Um, I've recently taken to posting on Instagram and such that I'm looking for uh, patterns, and I've gotten a few. So everybody who contributes to that, they get a shout out in my videos. So if for no other reason, there's a good reason to find a bracelet that you think that would be fun to see me try to work out the pattern and maybe customize the pattern into something new. So yeah. So to anybody who's confused, we had an election here in Singapore yesterday, and yeah, that was entertaining. Um, Sometime 10:30, 11 o'clock, somewhere in there, they released a sample of the ballot counting, and it was 16, 14, and 70%. And the guy with the lowest amount was like, "Nah, I'm gonna hang on in there. I'm not conceding yet. It could still go my way." It's like, dude, you no, not happening. But you know, I enjoy his enthusiasm. Kind of weird. Yeah, so I spent the day out wandering around, and it's over here. This is kind of neat. So if you're from anywhere else in the world, um, I'm curious, does anybody else make it a public holiday when it's election day, because they don't do that in America. It was a public holiday, so it made all the shopping malls just absolutely jam packed with people. It was insane. It was really, really crazy. All right. Yeah, that was a good time. We went out to eat, and one of the candidates was at the Haka Center, and there was cameras and stuff all celebrating her victory or whatever. Okay, rundown on the colors. There were 8 randomy colors and 2 solid colors. Solid is in the colors that'll be in all portions of the bag. So it starts out with the solid color, and then I put the lightest of the 8 on the left, and the darkest 4 onto the right. So now what's going to happen is these just go for 2 knots. And then, yeah, unfortunately, the Haka Center that I remember so fondly is gone. There's a giant building in its place. Um, in fact, that whole neighborhood, like from where I first stayed, is so completely changed. There's parts that are still recognizable, but it's different. It's way different. Okay, so there we go. We have the light ones going across, and then the solid comes like this. Aw. Okay, so now those ones are going to the right. These over here are going to go to the left. I love this pattern because it is incredibly, incredibly simple. Um, and this is why I was saying that I don't need to have the pattern up on the computer, is because, um, well, I made up the pattern, so I know exactly what kind of rules I was putting into place. And yeah. So now comes the other solid that boxes in those 2 little squares. And I'm sure that there's a lot of potential other patterns that could have come from this. But the thought was I haven't been doing bigger projects in a while, and I want to kind of get people excited about the possibility of making some projects themselves. And I thought this would be a really sort of easy pattern, that somebody that might be looking at doing a bag, they would pick up on this and be like, heck yeah, this would be awesome. Okay, so this one goes to the left as well. I wonder, I wonder if we can actually attract the kitties by doing that sound. Yes, that is. Oh, there's some more big news. So our contributor of the secret word game, who, like, I can actually click on this and then this. This is Minute Craft over here, has gone in with us to purchase a whole boatload of string to make a very big project. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. She's I've tried talking her into making something big for a long time. So the fact that she's actually, you know, spent a few bucks to get the string to do it, I think that's awesome. So yeah, yay. And Phil made it. Fantastic. Okay, so now this one is going to the right. So it's the first one goes to the right, the next two, these two go to the left, and then this one goes to the right. So essentially, it's a little bit like a basket weave sort of thing going on that's boxed in by those solid colors that and is there a better term for that? Like it's all the colors are a solid color, but what's like it's just the color that goes running through the whole rest of the pattern. So yeah. Yeah, if you need help with actually making the pattern there, Minute Craft, I can actually help you with that. So, because you kind of need something to be able to mark off the colors because you're going off the straight single strand and you're looping over them, right? So, yeah, I could probably help with that. I'm I can be nice. This is I don't. Was there a sequence to these things? Did you put them back into the little box in like an order?
Sort of.
Am I supposed to follow that order?
If you like, it's sort of a rainbow.
It is sort of. It is. Speaking of,
It's like an
our
eight
friend
sheet rainbow.
our friend Rainbow is not able to make it tonight. She's not feeling well, which is very, very sad. All right. So yeah, so this is the one where there's the four strands or two strings worth. Look at that. The lights actually just made themselves kind of jump out of this thing. That's awesome. So the other side is less likely to do that. This side is more of a mess just from how when she does the kumis. It's a great way of getting your strings in a bunch, I tell you. So, uh, there we go. So there's the light colors that'll go with that. Here's this. Here are the darks. Awesome. So I learned some stuff here today. Well, okay, there's like I have notes for all kinds of things during the week. But one of the cool things is um, I just learned today that Token, the J.R.R. Token guy, the guy that did the Lord of the Rings, um, I didn't know that he died in 1973, which means he died while I was just a child. Um, and I always associated this guy with being like, you know, because he was born in the 1800s. I thought he was, forever older or whatever. No, not that old. In fact, he died 50 years ago today. So that was sort of a wow. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that to me just strikes me as really odd. I really honestly thought the guy was from a whole different era. I couldn't imagine him in the 70s. I couldn't imagine him with color TV or any of that kind of stuff. Just didn't compute. But yeah. Yeah, so yeah, you'll totally need a plan. I can totally get you started with it. Yeah, see, that's all that I didn't even know. I had no idea. Okay, that I didn't know either. See, we're learning stuff here, people. This is an educational channel. That's awesome. So yeah, just learned that one today. Oh, we should plug the fact that tomorrow is the the hangout for patrons, people. This is bad. This is very bad. One of these strings is way off balance, and this string is needed to do long straight rows. This is going to be a real problem for me. And I've got no way of fixing that. That's not good. I don't know how it's so off balance. Yeah, that could backfire and totally make the bag end up have to end sooner than I may have wanted. I don't know. So this matching up the colors, that's that's never that much fun. Oh, speaking of the shop, um, oh, shoot, we didn't go over the blue one. Um, we are still trying to send proceeds to my niece to help cover the funeral expenses of my sister. So anything you guys purchase over there helps to go towards that. So far, we've managed to raise $150. So that's pretty awesome. That's uh that's all on you guys. You guys made that happen. There was some purchases, there was a donation, there was a direct donation. There's a link. There's a link in the description, right? I think there
Nope,
is.
there is not.
Yeah, it was just kind of unfortunate how my niece ended up having to take care of her mother, um, like financially at the end there. Like, I don't know how that happened. I don't know anything about what was kind of going on. I don't talk to them very much. I haven't talked to my sister in years. We had a fight a while back, quarreling over something stupid. I think it was about um, my not wanting to use Yahoo Mail after they had openly said that they were using the information from your emails to potentially sell off the information, and there was a lot of people, warning that the red flags of this could be like anything that you mentioned about your health could get be sold off to your future employers and things like this. And I voiced my concerns, and she just blew up at me and told me, fine, then I didn't need to bother talking to her anyways because she'd be damned if she was going to change to Gmail or anything else. And I was just like, okay, fine, see ya. I didn't know what to say. Like it was just, she would just get like that sometimes. All right. So now the thing I have to do is remember on the first one, the first little diamondy thing down here is going to the right. I have to make sure that I do that each and every time that the first one is going to the right. And that's because when we start joining these things together, it keeps that kind of congruity thing going where they all sort of do the same stuff together. That it's so this one goes to the right, the next one goes to the left, and then when they join, they're going to the right, which is like my favorite direction. So it makes it kind of easier when it comes time to the joining, is that I actually get to go in the favorite direction. So yeah. If you, oh man, if Phil is taking shots at this hour, holy moly, what a way to start your day. I remember back when I used to work catering that I would not get a day off for weeks and weeks at a time. And when I finally did, I would do stupid things like start my morning with Bailey's Irish cream mixed in with my coffee, which would just make the whole day just started off on a weird kind of note where very little, if anything, would get accomplished. So yeah. Yeah, we even have a place at the mall here where you can get that made up for you. So yeah. I don't drink enough Irish cream to actually keep the bottle around before it would go bad before I could actually have it drank. Unlike my younger days where, that could have been a thing. I could have a bottle, go through it. Yeah, so my new craft, we'll have to figure out your the bag that you're making, figure out the little details, like do you want a side that kind of can fold over to help keep the tablet or laptop or whatever it is from falling out. Um, because we can do that. We can add loops to it if you want to actually make it so that way the flap that goes over it can actually be buttoned down, because that's a possibility as well. Or a sleeve. Sure. Yeah. Oh, that's another thing. Um, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, um, for the anniversary, but I got a notification that it's been 9 years since the very first bag. And since then, I have made quite a number of bags with quite a number of different styles and stuff. So yeah, that's um, when it comes to kind of designing them up. Yeah, I kind of might have a an idea or two how to do some interesting stuff. So yeah. So we are 2 loops in. Yeah, poor Rainbow's not feeling well. She's uh she's so bad that she's in bed and can't watch us. So that's pretty bad. She always makes it to these things. She has said though that she's hoping to make it to the patron hangout tomorrow. So that really, I just saw a cute one. What do you call a T-Rex that sells guns? A small arms dealer. Just about as bad as the how do you make an octopus laugh? 10 tickles. So I know I'm a bit older than a bunch of you guys. You guys might not know who this is, but I just found out that Jimmy Buffett died. You guys, anybody else kind of a fan? I loved Jimmy Buffett when I was younger. He the Wasted Away Again in Margaritaville thing, like that was kind of like an anthem for a bit there. Or the Cheeseburger in Paradise. Yeah, he was a musician known for living down in the Florida Keys, where some days she's a little bit more immune to me. Some days not so much. Yeah, so the pineapple guy from the what we were talking about last week with the elections, that was the guy who won. And yesterday I went around wearing a pineapple shirt looking for other people wearing pineapple shirts. Nobody else had it, and nobody once commented about the guy with the pineapple shirt. I swear to God, I half expected somebody to be like, you know, because the candidate was known to be like a PAP member, and so I kind of expected the whole, Moore doesn't know anything about elections and anything about Singapore and what are you doing wearing this, and nope, nobody said a thing. Like they just either too wrapped up in their own selves to even notice, or I don't know, but it didn't. Oh no. Our condolences, Phil. Very sorry. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, um, after you get done doing the polling and you're gonna go spend time just hanging out at a mall or whatever, um, you could totally change into one. I would, I don't know. So in all, this bag I'm making will have 96 strings. There's each one of these loops is 12. But yeah. Okay, Phil. Big, big question. What pizza place are they likely to want to get pizza from? Because if you say Pizza Hut, that just takes it to an even lower, or Papa John. Like, please say it's not one of those two. Honestly. Yeah, this is just a really small one. This is the kind where um, you basically can fit some money, your IC card, maybe a couple of credit cards, whatever, just a little pouch. Yeah, so Little Caesars isn't quite the quality in America that we have here in Singapore. Like Singapore, Little Caesars feels like damn gourmet, but Domino's isn't. That's not the worst. Okay.
Not great.
No, well, okay. Domino's in America is better than Domino's here. Domino's here is kind of like Pizza Hut. They've just kind of went off the rails to try to be something different and weird and experimental, and I don't know what. An A5? Why would it be a crossbody? Trying to picture. So lined up in the works is the plan to do some patterns for bags that are big enough to fit phones. I don't think I have anything set up for an A5, although I did do something kind of like that before. That was for the traveler notebook. I just so no, I yeah, A5 is about the size of this thing, which this just released yesterday, which was partly why I was down at the that neck of the woods, was because I wanted to get my hands on this so I could start figuring out how I'm going to use the book. I've been kind of fantasizing about it for most of the year now, and yesterday it came out, and I went and I picked one up because I had to have it. So yeah, I'm totally picturing, like, would I make a bag for my planner? I could see that. If I was going to do that though, I'd kind of want it to be a bag big enough to fit the planner while the planner's inside of something kind of protecting the pages so it doesn't get weird. Yeah, I don't have allergies to most foods, I don't think. The only kind of food things I think that I really have is you wouldn't want me to eat broccoli.
That's not an allergy.
It's something. What is lactose intolerant? It's in the similar vein of things. Yeah, I knew somebody who couldn't eat tomatoes, and they used to make pizza, and the sauce that they would use instead of a tomato sauce was a cream of mushroom soup base for on the pizzas, which at first I thought sounded really, really weird, but it turns out that it's actually kind of delicious. Yeah, so I get a similar thing if I eat broccoli. I don't, broccoli's not like a go-to thing for me anyways. It's not like I'm like, oh, I'm gonna miss that. I don't like it. But if I eat it, like my tummy goes all kinds of crazy. All right, we are 3 loops in. Let's pull out another one. Yeah, how do you have pizza without cheese and tomato sauce? That's just that's like one of those bread things. What's the Middle Eastern Christians called? Honey,
Mm,
what's the Middle Eastern Christians called?
mm-hmm.
Pull it. Yeah, try to do a quick googly search. There's a name for it. They introduced me to something bread wise that is absolutely stupidly amazing.
Arab Christians.
No, no, not Orthodox. I want to say it begins like Cal something. At least that's what they're all referred to in Michigan. Like there's a large group of people who left the Middle East because persecutions and stuff. No,
Chaldean.
Chaldean. So the
Yeah, it's that's not that doesn't mean Middle Eastern Christian. Just means they're from Chaldea.
oh, okay, my bad. That's kind of how they've always basically explained who or what they were. So yeah. So if you look up them and you look up their bread, they do a flat bread that's kind of like a pizza, but some of them have seeds or nuts or other stuff on it, and the stuff is amazing. It's got the little bit of fluff to the bread, kind of like how I like my pizzas. Um, but like the oils and stuff from the nuts and sort of kind of weigh down parts of it, kind of like how a pizza is. Oh man. But yeah, there used to be like a lot of Chaldeans um, in parts of Michigan. I don't know why they that became a thing. Man, these colors are really close. Now that's interesting. A pesto-based pizza. I wonder what that's like. Yeah, no, that's not nice. No. I don't know if anybody saw it, but yeah, Florida's been in the news a bunch here lately, partly because they had a hurricane that struck there, which was pretty crazy. Um, a lot of people are complaining that they were told that they should evacuate, and then their house and the whole area or whatever is destroyed, and they're still there, and they're mad because, they don't have utilities, they don't have this and that, their house is a mess. Yeah, you were told to get out. Oh, and then you got the governor. He he voted when I forget the Hurricane Christie, Hurricane Catherine, or one of the big ones. He voted that they shouldn't receive help, financial aid because of their hurricane or whatever. Um, but now that it's his state, oh, please send us monies. And the Biden's supposed to go down to Florida to check it out. And so yeah, DeSantis doesn't want to meet up with Biden down there. Doesn't want to be seen with the guy that's trying to help with the money and getting help to these people. It's crazy. Ooh, goodness. Yeah, that's pretty grim. always tough when you see um, somebody who ends up with like disabilities like this because the parents tend to be the ones who step up the game and keep an eye on them and whatever. We have a case of that where these people they sell newspapers out by the street and their kid is there with them who's he's very handicapped, very handicapped. And you can just tell these parents are just worn down from being there all the time and they there's they have to worry like what's going to happen when they're gone because who else is going to step up like that. Yeah.
We have programs for that.
Yeah. Oh no. That is pretty bad. i've never I've never heard of people being allergic to chocolate though. That's a new one on me. I'm sure there's people allergic to all kinds of stuff, but that's a really. Yeah, I never. That's a new one on me. And all I can think of is what do these people do when Easter comes around and there's just chocolate everywhere.
Well, if you've never really had it,
Yeah, but okay, so like he was talking about the lack of self-control, you know, means that pretty much nobody in the household gets to bring them in despite that. So yeah. Yeah, I've been really super happy with having created the whole Discord thing. This sharing what you're working on stuff is awesome. So yeah, keep that up. That's definitely cool stuff. It's one of the few things where I get a notification on my phone that I'm actually happy about. Oh, Valentine's true. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but when I think of Easter and stuff, I'm thinking those Cadbury eggs, the solid chocolate ones, the ones with the goopy stuff on the inside ones. Oh, all that stuff, man. All right, so I got 4 of these so far, which is half. So I'm going to join a few of these just to do something different. Hey, Rara. Hello. So now, this is the neat part. The solidy color, the color that's like in all of the loops, just sort of just goes straight across. Oh, so yeah, I was talking about Florida, right? So besides the whole hurricane thing being all messed up, there was a case I saw in the news where a guy was poisoning a family because their baby was making noise. And so he was taking a syringe and a couple of chemicals like methadone and something else, and like squirting this underneath the door of their house, making them and their baby really super, super sick. It's just like the weirdest thing I've ever heard of. This guy like had some kind of degree in chemistry, so he knew that this stuff was pretty toxic. And yeah, again, only these things could happen in Florida. I just don't. I know Phil likes to say that it's not considered a part of America, but it really is still. Yeah, you can have the little candy corns at Halloween. I haven't had those in a long time. Yeah, it was. Yeah, let me see if I can. Yeah, so this is the. And hopefully the video doesn't come up. Is it a picture? Yeah. So here's a picture of the guy. The homeowner, for whatever reason, suspected something was going on, so he put a camera outside his place in the bushes and caught the dude with his little syringe thing there. Absolutely. Um, yeah, so he was detained on the 27th of June, charged with one count of felony of aggravated stalking, three counts of dispersing a chemical agent, and one count of possession of a controlled substance. Um, and he's going to have to pay $50,000 in damages. So yeah, crazy, crazy stuff. Yeah, I don't know what's in the candy corns, and if you, yeah, are they bad for you? Probably. Isn't everything like, you know, all the Halloween candy, like none of that can be good for you? Yeah, it is a Florida man thing. The part I think that maybe made it the worst for me was um it was an Asian guy doing this to a like a Middle Eastern family. And it was just like you just know that that's just going to be in the news even harder just because. Yeah, just just those, especially since like the child, like the infant, um was having problems with their lungs and stuff as a result of all of this. Like, okay, so the other guy has to pay $50,000, but what if this kid ends up having lung problems for life because of this stuff? I mean, it's just messed up. Yeah, I worked in Florida for a little while, and the heat and stuff. I imagine that's what does them in, excessive heat. Yeah, you're right. Well, they said that the chemical agents or whatever in it were make you nauseous, make you just make you sick in general. Like it's deeply messed up. Like I said, I have family in America, so like I tend to kind of like watch, just kind of see what's going on over there. And some of it's okay. Let's go to something lighter. This has been all over the news, and I absolutely think that is hilarious. Dude has got a seriously modded out car. Where was this at? This was this Nebraska? Yeah, Nebraska. Guy was driving around on the freeway with this giant huge bull in his car, and people are freaking out. They called the police, and the police pulled them over. Obviously, this is like in town when they got pulled over, told to take the bull home and to leave the city. And yeah, don't drive around with a bull. Like, yeah, gave him a bunch of written warnings. They didn't arrest him or anything, but yeah, that's a slightly more fun note of what's going on in America. Oh, and I don't know if you saw the back of that car. Yeah, it's messy. I still can't get over like the size of the horns on that thing. Like that's a huge bull. And the bull was like totally cool the whole time. The cops standing there talking to them, and like the bull was super passive. Yeah, right. Yeah, so the pattern is starting to develop. You can kind of start to see how the interplay of the colors are going. Again, because we moved all of the light colors to the left-hand side, um, it's kind of giving it a certain vibe to it. If my calculations are correct, the colors that started in a loop won't ever make it back to its own loop again. It doesn't go down that far. So yeah. Yeah, but there's a lot of that BS is actually running down the back of the car. Why would they care about police? Why would I care about the police? Or why would the police? Why would the bull? Oh. Okay, so I don't know. Why do bulls care about the clowns that are running around inside of the rodeo things? Why do bulls I yeah. Here, wait, one more picture of the. Wait, can we zoom in a little bit here? Slide this. Yeah, back there, it's just running down the side of the car like it was not solids. I don't know what the poor critter has been eating, but it's grim. First. It is one big bull. It is huge. I know. Okay, so I heard that the red thing is sort of more myth than anything. Like that's it's not really um it's the movement that gets them. It's not the color. They just wear the red because it's easier for the spectators. Yeah, like why I know everybody wanted to do like rhino horns and do things with that. Why don't they use like these bulls to do the carvings? Yeah, yeah. It's if you watch the video, this bull is like super laid back. Like people are filming and doing videotapes of the whole um altercation and whatever, and the bull is just like, "Yep, I'm in a car." It's awesome. Yeah, so now every single time we add in a loop, it is getting longer and longer to get down to the end. It was really weird. Did you hear that? It was like my voice came back at me weird. Yeah, I've never. Well, the closest thing is the for like cows, it would be the Kensington farm. Um so for anybody else who probably doesn't know, I am from the Michigan area and we had a metro park that had its own little farm thing on in the park, and so they had some animals or whatever. But yeah, they were pretty like you could pet a lot of the animals, and they were pretty cool about it. Cows, maybe not so much. Yeah, there was a weird echoey thing with my voice. It was really strange. I don't know what that was. So you don't have to steer clear. We've seen cows though, haven't we, honey? Over in
Mm-hmm.
Malaysia on our bike ride, just
Mm-hmm.
hanging out in the family's yard doing their little cow thing. Yeah, I wonder what that is. I wonder if it's like my sound is like getting picked up by Mandy's mic and getting sent back and then going stupid.
Why would it be getting picked up by my mic?
I don't know. That's the only way I can imagine it happening. I don't know if you actually heard it. It was really weird. It was like just gets really garbled. Oh no. All right. My new craft. Take care. I don't even know what time it is. Where are we? I'm actually making pretty decent time. Yeah, well, I'm only going to be working on this on live streams as the plan. So we get a little bit of time to actually watch this develop. Because yeah, I kind of like the idea of having bigger projects to play on over here during the live streams. And yeah, I have to admit, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how this one turns out. So what you kind of been missing is this is happening a lot with the strings where um, one side is much longer than the other. So I've been snipping off the little piece on the other side because it sort of drives me crazy. Yeah, what is candy bar? I have no idea. So it's sugar flavoring and coloring. Except for, but they're okay. So it's not really like a hard candy at all. It's squishy. It's it's sort of waxy. I want to say like that. If that's
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
is that a fair description? Yeah. So it does have a form of wax to it. Isn't carnauba wax? Isn't that what they use on surfboards?
Um, it's a palm wax that's grown in Brazil, also called Brazil wax. Mm-hmm.
Don't go looking up Brazilian wax, kids. So every time this joins, the knots are going to the right. And then the one just following that, the knots are going to the left. And just knowing that that's a thing just makes the whole pattern so much easier. Like, seriously, this is why I'm not having to like look at something on my computer or a piece of paper printed out or anything else. It's really just a very, very simplified pattern here. Like I said, I Mandy pulled the colors and I didn't know what else to do. And I spent I spent days trying to come up with an idea of what to do with this string because it was really perplexing to me. Like I just was dumbfounded. And then it suddenly like came back and was like, this could work. Try again in a few seconds. Okay, now my Google is trying to answer questions for God knows what.
She's weird.
It happens sometimes. Yeah, this is another one of those strings that's way out of balance. Check out how far this one is. So yeah, anybody who's thinking about trying to make a really small bag, this this has got to be one of the easier patterns um, you could want to try. And like I said, me actually making the pattern for this, that video comes out on the 11th, so like a week away, a little more than a week. Like basically, we will be working on the second day of this, and then a couple days will pass, and then the video comes out. So yeah. And I don't know if you guys can kind of tell, like what I was saying about the whole, like because we basically set a rule that we start out with the lightest colors on the left, um, it's really starting to show up like how that decision is panning out. Like if we just kind of went willy-nilly with the colors, um, I don't think because like there's something really coherent happening here. And I don't think if we just kind of went random that would have looked nearly as cool as what this does. Because I like this a lot. And I suppose technically this could be scaled up. You could do where there were bigger squares, like 3x3s instead of the 2x2 things. So I'm almost as far as I can get with these 3 loops. We still have a fourth one we can add on. So again, in case anybody's missed it, this is just going to be a 96 string bag, which is really small when it comes to making a bag. So yeah, that's it'd still be really pretty. It's just small. Yeah, it really is, I think. I really like it. And like I've been saying, it's really such a simple pattern. Mind you, um, the plan is that I'm gonna try to do bracelet videos during the week and then bag stuff on the live streams. And so I need to come up with a few more patterns to make a few more bags, um, to be able to come up with enough patterns to be able to actually put in a string order. And so the plan is I have a couple from this with string that I already have here. Um, but the other bags that I'm kind of designing and thinking about are going to be a lot more intense. And yeah, we'll see where that goes. That should be a lot of fun. That's something else to look forward to. So yeah, there'll be some videos of me trying to figure out what the next big things will be. Not sure how long the video for this one is. It seems like making bag videos tend to be a little bit longer, but my intention is to do some videos to really kind of show you guys what goes into um, my thought process when it comes to actually doing patterns and stuff for a bag. Um, Mind you, like some of the bags I've done are over the top complicated, um, for whatever reason. I guess challenging myself mostly. Um, it did get a little quiet. I guess it's a good time to remind everybody that we have a secret word game that if you chat, you get a chance to win these bracelets. So that's a thing. Yeah, pretty much there is not a bag that you could finish in a day. Like I'm pretty insane when it comes to putting stuff together, and no, it's not going to happen in a day. Like even if I got all my ADHD focus to put me into the overdrive thing where I forget about eating and everything else, it's still not happening in a day. But there's something super rewarding about having something that took days, weeks, months that you kind of can't get any other way. Yeah, yeah, agreed. There's took a couple days at least for Mandy just to do the Kumi loops. Mind you, she could honestly have done it in a day. I have no doubt. There's only 8 loops, so I guarantee she could have done it in a day, but it didn't happen in a day. She did a little bit here and there. Well, okay, so if you want to compare this to bracelets, right? This is 8 12 string bracelets. So if you think about how long does it take to make a bracelet, if you can do a bracelet in a day, right? This is 8 bracelets put together, right? So by right, if you put the same kind of energy into those 8 days, you would have a bag. Same amount of string, same amount of knots, same everything. Yes. Yeah, wait till she has to make the strap for this. Those tend to be, how long are the straps? They're really long. They're like 1.5, 1.6 meters.
Something like that.
Oh, speaking of anime, have you guys seen the new live action One Piece? We've only watched episode one, so don't spoil anything. Well, I've seen One Piece before, so I kind of know the story. But I like what they did with that. I really hope that they just keep going at it every season after season. It is amazingly good. Oh, just a reminder again that tomorrow is the patron hangout where everybody who's subscribed to my Patreon account gets to hang out with me over on Discord. It's usually fun. It's about as random as the things we talk about here. So yeah, that's kind of fun. Is it Madeline Kid? I knew somebody with the last name Kid in Michigan. My sister was like really good friend. They worked at GM, and like I kind of liked the daughter. That's funny. But yeah, the One Piece thing is really good. If you get a chance, go watch it. It's awesome. It's I was afraid that they would kind of mess up the story and because the way that the anime kind of went about it, they started out with the childhood and it was very slow progressing. Instead, it's a bit more of a they kind of use the go back to what happened as a kid, but it keeps the story moving on. Like they don't just stay there for like too long or anything. Like all of it is just really really good. Yeah, so again, it's just this is just these little squares are just alternating. You know, these ones are going to the left, the next ones will go to the right. Every time it joins, it goes to the right, so that makes that easier to remember. Um, it's a kind of pattern where it doesn't take a whole lot of concentration. Like, I know that my plan is to make some patterns based on those very um, ethnic-y looking bracelets. And so I know that that's going to be like those ones are going to be crazy hard. Um, but yeah. Yeah, Rainbow's not feeling well. She said that she would be staying in bed and that she couldn't watch. So is still Phil's still here? I got a question for him. Kind of curious. I saw that Rudy Giuliani lost his defamation case against the gals that were working at one of the Georgia polling places or whatever. They tried to claim that they were passing USB devices and um, putting in rigged whatever into the machines. But I did not see if they came up with a the financial amount that he's going to have to pay. Like, the dude's in so much trouble. He's got court hearings all over the place. But like the first one that he had to go through, he's already lost. So yeah, yeah, he was like an American hero back in like 2001, and now he's just like the butt of every joke. Wow. And the funny thing is Trump so used to talk about trying to use the courts to make everybody rich, that he was going to try to make the liable cases so much easier or whatever. And it's his own people who seem to all be getting hit with it. Just crazy. Yeah, speaking of the puns, I noticed a bunch of the I forget what they call themselves. What were the guys that the like three of them have all been One was given 17 years, one was given 15 years, and the latest one got 10. The Proud Boys, the leader of the Proud Boys got 17 years, and then like one of his other henchmen or whatever got 15. And then the newest one, I think he was one that broke one of the windows with a stolen shield or whatever from the police guys. He got 10 years. And like the leader one, he was already like 30, 39 or 40. So by the time he gets out of jail, I mean, he's really losing some like good years of his life. It's just kind of I I didn't see any videos on it, but I heard a lot of news reporting saying that had been crying when the judge was sentencing him. I sure would have liked to have seen that. Yeah, I have a see. I don't know about that. I kind of have this feeling like if it had been any other kind of group, the the speed of the trials, the whole what came of it, the whole thing, like I think it would have gone down a whole lot differently. Um, those people, they killed a dude. They killed a security guy. Um, I haven't heard anybody getting, life sentences and whatever for that. I mean, I don't know. It just seems so much of the whole judicial thing just doesn't make sense. Mind you, I guess it's not just America. England just had something where a TikTok star, her mom was messing around, sleeping with somebody she shouldn't be, started to get blackmailed. Instead of going to the police and whatever, they tried to deal with it on their own, planned to, I don't know what they planned to do, but they ended up chasing, well, tried to get them to meet up in a parking lot or something, and the dude thought something seemed wrong. Next thing you know, he's being followed by a bunch of cars down the freeway, and they ran him off the road and killed him. Meanwhile, the dude was on the phone with the police, telling them they're like, they're coming to get me, kind of thing. And yeah, they got sentenced. They say it's life. I don't understand UK law. They say life, but then it says minimum of 30 years. So I don't understand, like, if it is it life or is it 30 years? Because that doesn't make sense. I don't. Oh, that seems like half a life. Okay, so I never knew that. I always thought life sentences meant for life. I guess that makes more sense now when I hear about the people who are like 9 consecutive life terms or whatever. I guess that slightly makes more sense. Right, that's what I would thought. See, I have the best followers. You guys like actually know all kinds of cool stuff. Yeah, just so much weird stuff in the news lately. Like honestly, I know I get there's probably like weird stuff all the time. It just seems that I don't know. Okay, so I've discovered Threads, which is the new social media thing that's supposed to be kind of like Twitter but different. And that so like I've been picking up like on a lot of stories, and half the time it's just a headline that I don't understand because I wasn't around when the news actually happened, and now it's just about like the conviction or this person is, finally whatever. So like I end up looking up what the whole thing was, and it's a very ADHD thing. I have to like know what a story is about. Like there was a driving driving eight or something about driving an eight. Like there was a family with like 6 kids, and the mother and her friend have gone off to jail. I guess a lot of people have been like trying to warn social services that you know she was abusive and she was doing bad things and whatever, and she's been getting away with it for like a really long time, but now she's going to jail and her kids are in protective custodies, and that was crazy. They were like a YouTube, very very popular, like a couple million people subscribing kind of YouTube channel, and apparently like a lot of people have been like really worried for the kids for some time. Like they made the 15-year-old kid, what was it, like sleep on a beanbag chair because he had disciplinary issues, like just weird stuff.
like for years.
Yeah, yeah. And apparently, like one of her last videos was saying that like she had a secret and she knew something and she felt she was getting away with something. And I mean, I think she may have kind of known that something was coming. Um, I don't know. It's really weird. The whole thing is bizarre. Yeah, I'm just I just really hope in those kind of cases, like the kids get whatever help is needed. Honestly, it's out of the whole thing. I don't care if the parents get time in jail or whatever it is. I just want the children to come out of it okay because um, starting off like that can't be good. Another string that's really short. That's great. So most of the string that in this bracelet is left over from other projects. And for some odd reason, certain ones of them are really short compared to everything else. I'm really hoping this doesn't turn into being a problem. Oh, so Phil, question. Maybe you know about this one too. The last few days, YouTube says my watch hours are really next to nothings, like 2.5 hours or 2.7, something like that. Um, I can't figure out how that's even remotely possible. Like, unless rewatching a video doesn't actually count to the hours anymore, kind of thing. Like, it doesn't make sense. I don't understand how it could be down to so few. Like, I have friends watching like playlists, hours after hours should be of playlists. But for some odd reason, Google's like, nah, those don't count. And I can't figure why. I think Phil fell asleep. The video's still running? Yeah, yeah. I would think that there would be at least a minimum 12 hours a day being watched, but it's not turning out that way at all. Seriously weird. Don't know what's going on. But yeah, if anybody watching this, if you have time, throw on a playlist and let her go. Because we are seriously trying to get these watch hours up. We're at like 2,266 so far out of the 4,000 needed, which will be 3,000 if Singapore ever gets the same breaks that US gets, which I don't know why we don't. I've been trying to look that up too to see when that's supposed to happen. There is absolutely no word of that. In the US Open and um I know the name of the show. Why again? Oh, Good Omen. Naked and Afraid. I haven't heard of that one. What is that, a Netflix? Is that a Disney? I don't know what stream thing is that on? Well, that reminds me, there's stuff on Disney I want to watch too. I want to see that new Asuka thing. I've been so busy trying to work on videos that I haven't had time to watch any of the stuff I want to watch. Mostly it's One Piece. That's the one I'm really, really wanting to see right now.
Good Omen.
And The Good Omen. What? I can't. Okay, I could see being dropped in the middle of nowhere, whatever. But I gotta have like shoes and stuff, man. I don't. Uh-uh. And cover up the bits. The bits would not like to be sunburnt. Yeah. So are these like survivalist people? Like, are these like Bear Grylls kind of people? Yeah. It's the shoes. Honestly, it's the shoes that bothers me the most. Like in my head, the first thing is I don't want to step on sharp rocks. That's like I could probably handle the bits out in the breeze more than the idea of the socks thing. The socks thing really bothers socks and shoes. That really really bothers me. Like in my mind, like that's just the worst. Like even when I was a kid, like I knew other people, like we had a gravel driveway, right? So we had like the the big chunky rocks and stuff would get, periodically poured into our driveway to help keep it, so you had traction in the winter and whatever. Um, there was like pebbly ones and, smooth one ish, but there was a lot of like jagged rocks. So I remember as a kid, like my sister would go out in the yard barefoot, but she'd have to cross the driveway to do it. And I couldn't, no, no, I did not like pokey rocks on like the middly part, like of the foot. And that would hurt so bad. I couldn't do it. I've stepped on Legos before. They're not as bad. Okay, wait. Madeline Kidd has a question. Okay, so I'm working on a bracelet and I have a extra string on the edges of it so I can make a border. Yeah, so there's a lot of designs where people um, keep the string that's on the outer part. It just sort of like when the edge comes to that string, it just sort of bounce back and forth and stuff. There's like the whole straight edge technique, which does something like that, but there's also a lot of like the ethnic looking bracelets where um, the outer part is just a series of zigzags while the inner part is like really intense. So yeah, no, you can totally make borders. It's a thing. I'm pulling up my website now. So under tutorials, there's a place called patterns. Um, so these big ones, they have a string running down it that is just running straight. Uh, um, this pattern sort of does it, where this white one is sort of zigzags in and out most of the way. This has an edge. This one has an edge. This sorta kinda. This was a mesh differently one. This one kinda. This one not exactly great load time. Oh, it's really taking a while. Yeah, Phil. Growing up, I had Legos. I had lots of Legos. My relatives were in England, so we'd get Legos kind of regularly. So yeah, you can see like how like the yellow string right here, it just stays right on the very edge. You could have like a whole pattern going on, and just every single time the yellow string just stays on the edge. Or you could do like what it does here, and it flips to being another color afterwards. I love the fact I have like a ton of examples of this kind of stuff. Like select up that. Come on. Zoom in. So this one sort of does an edge, but it kind of bounces in just a little bit to making it um just a little, instead of just being a singular edge, this kind of comes in a little bit more, but it makes it sort of interesting. No, it's actually probably me between streaming and pulling in Mandycam off of, through the whole thing. It's probably mine. I'm pretty sure if you actually go through these, um, if you go through these, you could find other examples of where stuff like that happens, where you have like an edge. This one has an edge. This one has a little bit wider of an edge. But yeah, there's a bunch of examples in here. This which is the bracelet that I'm wearing, sort of has it. Some are edgier than others, that's right. Yeah, like this one here. This one here has just a string. It's weird, it takes so much longer to load when it's inside from the pattern thing, I think. So yeah, there's like 2 rows that are just going straight along the outside parts. Yes, yes, that's exactly how you do it. It's on the right hand side, it would be going to the left and then the right each time, and on the other side it'd be to the right and the left. So yes, it is essentially forward, backward, or backward, forward, depending on which side you're on. But yes, that's exactly it. If you had a particular pattern in mind, um, that you're trying to add strings to, let's say maybe the pattern itself that you wanted to do is like a 10 string, and now you're going to add in 2 more to bring it up to a 12 string bracelet, and you need help with that, I can actually help you make the pattern. And in so, I'll make a video of me making the pattern so you can see exactly how I go about doing all of that. So yeah. But yeah, and that's the one. Like if you watch through, there's a whole playlist of me making patterns. If you go through some of those, see how um, see how I actually make the patterns, you can pretty much come up with like anything, like whatever you want to go from like a 10 string bracelet to a 16. You can do it. Like the the bracelet I was saying that I did, where it basically has an edge on it now. This is two 12 string bracelets been meshed together into something. So it's a 24 string bracelet that was made off of two 12 strings. So yeah. Um, I don't know why I enjoy that kind of stuff. There's a challenge to it, um, and I enjoy the challenge. So yeah. All right, Rock House, take care. Thanks for hanging out as long as you did. Thank you everybody that's been hanging out with us. This has been a lot of fun. I think I'm just going to do one more diamond here. Um, Trying to figure out what are the four darkest colors. I guess it's these. So yeah, Madeline, if you want, um, you can join us. There's a link down below for the Discord. You can join the Discord server. That's a real easy way of being able to share. Um, there's a link right there. Um, it's a real easy way to share images. So if you have like the pattern that you're wanting to work on and stuff, that'd be a great place. You just have to kind of let me know um, that it's you, because everybody obviously uses nicknames on those kind of things, which I'm not. Like I have right now a thing in my WhatsApp from somebody whom I'm not sure if it's a scam or anything else. It could be somebody that I said I'd help out, but they just kind of randomly hit, like, do you have time? And I'm like, see, I don't know. Like, you kind of have to say, hey, it's me from whatever, because otherwise I get scared. There's a lot of weird people out there. Heck, on Discord, you can actually sometimes catch me, depending on depending on what's going on. There are times where if I'm recording, then I really can't be on the Discord. Although Phil will tell you that that's happened. Um, but if I'm editing, just if that's what I'm doing for the day or whatever, a lot of times I'll turn on the Discord to see if anybody needs help answering questions and stuff. So, I have to say, for the most part, this is going together pretty good. My only real concern is the one color that runs through everything. There's been a couple instances where those have been kind of short, and they run in long straight rows, which means they get used the absolute most, which could really pose a problem. So I think one of the things that's going to either happen tonight or tomorrow, most likely tomorrow, will be that I have to go through my stash and see if I have more of that color available, um, in case I actually have to replace some strings. Cool. Cool beans. I kind of look forward to helping you out with your pattern. But yeah, if you haven't already, you should go check out my website. There's probably just a ton of inspiration. You can go to um, so there's this tutorials area where you can actually go to see all the different tutorials that I've created for all the different whatevers, which these patterns kind of link to it. But these are all different various tutorials on stuff. Or you can go over here to portfolio, which is basically um, this huge conglomerate mess of things that I made, which allows you to sort by all kinds of different things. So if you wanted to make a 12 string bracelet, you could actually sort by 12 strings. Or if you're trying to do something rainbow, you could do that. Or if you're looking at going complicated, Rapunzel is our kind of a funny word about bags. Um, Back 9 years ago when I was making the first one, this one, I put it on my head and it looked like long hair, like ridiculously long hair and crazy silliness. And so we came up with this whole Rapunzel thing. But um, there's like all kinds of inspiration over here on my website to check out. Um, yeah, there's stuff that I made back in the 80s or the 90s, and tube bracelets and bangles and fades and double wides and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, lots of stuff to check out over there. Oh, Phil, you weren't around when we started the stream, and I kind of forgot about it until now. But we did a little research into the secret word game, and I now know when this secret word game started. Can you believe that? You were saying that it was more than a month. You were absolutely correct that it was more than a month. Um, that bracelet was given to me by Minute Craft to use. She gave it to me in December. In our last video of the year, I mentioned the fact that we were going to reintroduce the game, but I hadn't gotten around to it yet. So the first mention of this particular contest with that graphics that I just had up actually started on January 8th. So we have been waiting for a winner this whole year. January 8th was our first video because the first um, was like a Saturday, I guess. So yeah. It's my brand related. It's got to do with the craft and my stuff. Yes. Yeah, there's been a lot of random conversations over the course of a year. If you can imagine that. Yeah, there's been a lot of silliness, a lot of food. It's not a food thing. I can tell you that. I'll give you a hint. It's not food. Nope, nobody all year has said it. Mind you, we've had words like caffeinated before, and that one, Minute Craft actually won that one. She was commenting on my um, being jacked up uh, on coffee or something before one of the live streams. We are down to 3 people. Is there seriously only 2 likes? Oh no. I just. That's so weird. The iPad says that there was only 2 likes. Yeah. Some people have slipped away without saying a word. Yeah, it says that on the I don't know what that thing's called. The thing that tells me that have an excellent connection and the all that stuff says it. But the tablet in front of me doesn't say that. That's weird. All right, guys. I'm going to bring in what we've put together so far. Let's slide these over. Check that out. Oh, slide this over just a bit. There we go. Wow. So I didn't quite expect to get this far tonight. So I guess that's kind of a fact that this pattern is actually pretty darn easy. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. Um, so yeah, let's do this. Before I go, I want to thank my Patreon supporters who make this possible. I couldn't really do it without them. So thank you very much, guys. I will be back again next week with working more on this. We only have a couple more loops to do and get them all joined together to actually get this bag going. So, yeah, that's something to look forward to. Tomorrow is the hangout, patron hangout. So, all my patron people come join us and hang out. It'll be basically the same time. Might actually start a little earlier. I tend to, open it up maybe around 9 p.m. or so. So, yeah, you guys can come and join for that. And yeah, that's going to be kind of a lot of fun. So, yeah, thanks for everything. And again, as always,